Hello, welcome to the 199 Unlisted podcast. My name is Frank. I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a Exid pullover and a Oakland A's hat. We are back with my favorite person to look at, Tyler Spaghetti. I don't think we've reacted to this video. It's called Customer Called Me Racist, Crazy Customer Stories. Now, as we all know, she has horrible customer interactions. Okay? And the common factor is her. Because she has way too many bad customer interactions where it's the customer's fault. I mean, it can't be because she has way too many. But anyway, a customer called her racist. Now, first off, she's not racist. Because remember, this is back. This was peak woke when this video was uploaded. Okay, and that's back when if someone disagrees with you, you're racist. If someone disagrees with you, you're a Nazi. Like it's words have lost all meaning. Like it just all these ist and phobes, these words mean nothing these days, unfortunately, because for God, it's been a while. I want to say, at least in our pop culture, and yes, it's was started by the Democrats, like left leaning people. It's been going on for at least 10 years, where if someone disagrees with you, or they're mean to you, whatever. You're racist, you're sexist, you're this, you're that. So I'm just getting that out the way. So before we even react, I don't think she's racist.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Tyler. Welcome back to another crazy customer story time because it never ends. It never does. It's never. It never ends. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Please help. Anyways, today I have obviously in the title. That's gonna be later on, probably the second story.
That was more than one.
That was like crazy. But anyways, the first story I'm gonna give you is a goldfish lady.
Oh God, here we go. All of her fish stories are the same. A person comes in for a fish. I'm gonna guess. A person comes in for a fish, and then she grills the person about, are you qualified to buy this goldfish? And that line of questioning, and I know it's just your job, but it really sets things off on the wrong path. And that's how every argument has started. The only thing she needs to do is sell the damn fish.
Because not a lot of people know about goldfish. I'm gonna
I do.
give you some basic information.
Okay.
What it says on our tag for this specific goldfish, if you work at a pet store, at this pet store specifically, the really cheap goldfish. We have 16-cent ones and we have 32-cent ones. They wanted the 32-cent ones.
A lot of people just call them feeder fish. A lot of people buy those fish to feed to other fish. And they're, your basic fish that if you just want to start and have a fish tank, those are the easiest ones to get. And they have a 50% chance of living. Meaning, like, you could do everything right. You buy it, well, that's pretty much anything, but like you buy it from the pet store, you put the fish in the tank, you do everything the right way, it's still a 50-50 chance. Because they're just meant to be fed to other fish.
They are bred to be feeder fish. They are
Yeah.
bred to be fed to turtles or snakes or other things, lizards, whatever. They're not usually kept as pets unless you have like a pond because they get a foot long. And also on our tag, it has like basic information. This is the bare minimum that they need to survive. It says a 30-gallon tank. That's for one adult goldfish. That's the bare minimum. Okay, so when you're reading those tags, don't say, "Oh, all I need is a 30-gallon and I can get like a couple." No, that's not how it works.
You're being lied to. She said you need a 30-gallon tank to keep a feeder fish. That is not true. That is not true. The fish grow to the size of the tank. So yeah, they can get a foot long if you put it in a pond, but yeah, it doesn't work like that. I question if she knows what Listen, I know. I'm not saying I'm the goldfish expert, but I do know that they grow to the size of the tank. So if you get a 10-gallon tank and put 10 feeder fish in there, they're going to stay the same size. You know, relatively. Maybe they'll grow just a little bit, but they are not going to grow where you're like, oh my god, that doesn't happen.
Like the people that make those signs, they're not they're not being honest with you. That's the bare minimum that you can do for these fish to even survive.
They're trying to get you to buy stuff that you don't need. That's what's going on. You know those people who just have like a goldfish bowl and they put that one fish in there? That's a feeder fish. And that fish is fine. It doesn't grow a foot long. So I don't know where she's getting this bullshit from.
But anyways, that's like the basic
I
information
see why customers don't like her though.
of that kind of goldfish. They're called comet goldfish. They get a foot long. They get huge. They're not easy to take care of. So just don't get them. Maybe don't do that. But anyways, this lady, she's here with like somebody else, and then her child. I guess I don't know. The child's probably like 4 or 5 years old. Like can't. I don't know. So a young child that's not gonna take care of a fish. Um, she's like, "Oh, I want a goldfish," and I'm like, "Okay, which one were you looking at?" Because we have like the expensive goldfish that range from like $3 to like $30. Um, and those like I would not be able to sell in like a small tank, but the feeder fish, the 16-cent ones, the 32-cent ones, I can't tell somebody no. Like it's part of my job. Like it literally, like I can't deny that, and it's really depressing.
This girl's an idiot. God, like I think the most expensive goldfish I had was $20, and everything was right, all that jazz. It did not live long. At a nice fancy tank, because once again, you're buying it from a fish store, and even the most expensive fish, it's a 50-50 chance. You can do everything right, and that fish might not last. But goldfish in general grow to the size of their environment. So I think her problem is she read the pamphlet that PetSmart gave her, and now she's an expert. That's it. And every single fish, if the water is clean and you transfer it the right way, you can use one of those $20 goldfish and keep it in a simple 1 gallon goldfish bowl. It'll live. Like she's making this sound like you're adopting a child. You're not. It's just a fish, and it's her attitude that is making the customers react the way that they're reacting. When these people come into the store, they just want to buy damn goldfish. They don't need to be, questioned about their fish ethics. But see, she's not socially aware, and that's evident, obviously.
But anyways, I'm like, okay, what size tank do y'all have? After she showed me which one she wanted, she was like, oh, I have like a little bowl, and I'm like, okay, just so you know, they do get about like a foot long. I like showed her the size, like with my hands, they get about this big. Um, so they won't be able to live in a bowl for very long. They need a heater. I mean, not a heater, a filter. They need a filter. You can't really do that in a bowl. And they won't be able to live in a bowl. Like they can't live in a bowl.
You can just change the water. You just do a partial change. We really got to stop acting like a goldfish, even if it's a whatever kind of goldfish. It's not brain surgery. And I'm sure if I'm the woman and I'm being talked to by this chick, I'm already pissed off. Trust me.
Bowl. No fish should live in a bowl without a filter. Just my opinion. I don't know. It might be controversial. I don't know.
You're wrong.
These people park next to me, and they're just chilling in their car in a park.
Every goddamn video. She's in a parking lot, which is every video. She complains that someone uses the parking lot. Look behind those dead eyes. Those are there's a retard there. Or as my educated friends say, a retard. Oh, I can't stand her.
It's like, why are you doing the same thing as me? I don't like it. Anyways, I'm like, oh, they can't live very long in that bowl. And she's like, oh, it's fine. And then she's like, is this food good for them? And she holds up like saltwater food. First of all, we don't even have saltwater fish, but we, for some reason, sell like saltwater stuff.
I had a goldfish live for, like those beta fish tanks. Like they're like really small. Like the beta fish, like they live in a cup basically. So I had a beta fish tank. Like a giant cup basically. I had a goldfish live in that. I'm not kidding, for 2 years. Okay. I moved it to a different tank. It lived for another 3 years. So for 2 years of its life, it was living in a cup, no filter. Changed, I'm not exaggerating when I say like a giant cup. Change the water, whatever, every, I don't know, like once a week. Take out some water, put in some more water, just like tap water. No filter. Fish lived for 2 years in a cup. So a goldfish, the same kind of fish she's talking about. Guess what? It didn't grow. I then put it in a 10-gallon tank with, I don't know, like nine other fish. It grew about an inch. So she doesn't know what she's talking about. Anyway.
And nobody really knows what they're doing with that stuff, including me. I don't know anything about saltwater. But she's like, is this food good for them? And I'm like, no, this is actually for saltwater fish, and goldfish are freshwater. So the goldfish are going to be eating goldfish food. We have that around the corner. She's like, can you show me? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I swear nobody can read. This set.
Just do your fucking job. Just do your fucking job. And then you don't know if it's an undercover shopper too. Jesus Christ.
Saltwater fish food on the thing. There's a Nemo.
So
on
don't
it.
you think you're being tested? Doesn't
At
that sound
least,
like you're being
look at the
tested by an
picture
undercover shopper?
and be like, yeah, this is a Nemo. This isn't a goldfish. This is a Nemo. I'm sorry. I know I'm saying Nemo like I'm a child. It's because these people act like children. Um. Anyways,
This is coming from someone who is a made up gender. And once again, with bringing up, she is a, what is she? A non-binary female presenting. I don't know. It's some bullshit. So once again, I can't take this person seriously. She doesn't even know. She's living in a fantasy world where she's not a woman. Okay? She looks in the mirror and thinks she's a non-binary female. Like, what?
I show her the goldfish food, and then she's like talking. She's like, oh, this is just for my kid, just for like a little bit. I want to see how he does. And I'm like, okay, well, just so you know, like, if you're just seeing how things go, these fish are going to die in the bowl. Like, they can't live in the bowl. They can't live in the bowl.
Yes, they
They're
can.
not going to live in the bowl.
They can.
And she's like, oh, well, we actually had them before, and they lasted about 2 weeks. That was a really long time. And I'm like, yeah, they can actually live about 30 years if they're taken care of properly. And she's like, yeah, but they lived pretty long last time I had them. And I was like, okay. But in my head, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Name one person that you know that has had a fish live for 30 years.
Like I just said, they can live 30 years, and you're like, they live 2 weeks. And I'm like, such a good fish mom. Like, no, the fuck you're not. And then she goes on and she's like, oh, it's just for him to like look at and entertain him. And I'm like, okay, um, so you're getting a fish as like a decoration, basically? I said that. I said that.
Because that's what they are. That's why I got them. I would look at them as decoration. She's retarded.
And I know that can come off as like bitchy, because that
No,
is kind of
because it is
mean.
bitchy.
Also, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know.
I don't know. It's you're probably breaking out because you're non-binary.
But we're gonna ignore that. Um, but I asked that. I'm like, so you're getting a live animal as a decoration? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what people do.
And I was shocked. First of all, I said that, and then I realized that came out really mean, and I was like, oh shoot, I hope she doesn't like yell at me. I was like, oh god, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
That's
you
like,
see, and here's the thing. She might be understanding she's the problem when it comes to these customer interactions. Just shut up and sell the fish. When I'm dealing with the customer, the less talking, the better. You want this? We sell it to you. I can't tell you how many times. I'm talking like back when I was a waiter. Forget about me working at PetSmart. When I was a waiter, a customer orders something, just write it down, whatever, get it. But like, um, I can't tell you how many people who would buy alcohol, who when you looked at them, they looked underage. But I'm not gonna risk insulting someone. So I'm just like, what do you want? You want this drink? Get it. It's like, and I remember that one time. And unless she's on some magical youth cream, this girl had to be 14 because it was like a grandmother, and it looked like her grandkids. It was like a 14-year-old and like a 9-year-old boy. And the 14-year-old girl wanted a all American margarita. Because it was around 9/11, so like we had margaritas that were like red, white, and blue. And so she goes, I want an all American margarita. I'm like, okay, no problem. Did not argue. They they were Mexican. I mean, like, don't they start drinking at 7 anyway? So
kind of rude. It's honest, but like
no, it's just stupid and rude. It's
I
just
work to
stupid and
sell
rude.
fish,
It's
like
stupid and rude.
gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Yeah, just get the damn fish.
And by that I mean I have to sell fish,
Yeah, so
and
just
I
sell
can't
them.
deny it because our company doesn't want us to deny it because whatever. Um, but I said that, and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, bro, you literally just admitted to me that you're getting a fish as a decoration. And I'm like, okay, well, have you tried like a TV show or like some toys for him? And she's like, yeah, but he likes the fish. And I'm like, okay,
This conversation is taking way
okay,
too long. Just sell the fish already.
okay.
Drives me crazy.
And then she goes on like a story about how she had fish for her other daughter when she was a kid. And again, she was like, they lasted like 2 weeks. It was like crazy. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Um, and at this point, I'm like over it. I'm like, she literally just admitted to me that she's buying a living animal as a decoration. And then again, she says something about like,
Most people buy pets for decoration. I hate to break it to you. I mean, that started with Paris Hilton's trend of buying a purse dog, and it was an accessory. Why do you think people buy those little dogs? Like, there's cats bigger than dogs like that. You buy them because they're little accessories. You can hold them, carry them around. They're like decoration. People dress them up. It's an accessory. People spend a lot of money on fancy goldfish tanks that are built into a wall. Why? Because it's decoration. They're not pets. It's decoration, and people go, "Hey, like, look at this. It's like a status symbol."
oh, we're just gonna see how he does. And I'm like, again, they aren't gonna live very long. They're in a bowl. They can't live in a bowl. And she's like, it doesn't really matter. We'll come and get new ones until he gets bored of them. She said that to me. Like, is that not maybe some people don't care about fish or think about them as like living animals. I don't eat fish, so I don't know. I might be biased. But like,
Oh
if
my
you're buying a fish as a pet and I'm telling you it's going to die,
You are
you would think like, oh,
retarded.
maybe I
Jesus
won't do that.
Christ.
Maybe I won't do
I
that.
mean, it's
And
it
I'm
a
like literally
little of
telling you like, if
her,
this is a living animal,
a little
you
of
would
her
think
goes
like
a
maybe
long
the other
way.
person would be
Shut up, please. This is too much. This is too much. Like everything about her is insufferable. It just is. Oh my god. You work a minimum wage job and you're trying your best to make it difficult. I've never had problems like this when I worked at PetSmart. Never. You just sell the fish. It doesn't matter. If I worked at a dog adoption center and a Korean guy or a Chinese guy came in and was like, "Yeah, I'm buying 3 dogs from my restaurant." You know what I would do? I would sell them the dogs. I don't care if you want to make barbecue pooch. Go ahead, give me the money. Here's the dog. Oh, sir, you're gonna keep this dog chained to the pole in your backyard? Okay, it's your dog. Take it. Just give me the money. Take the dog. Like, what are we doing? Like, oh, are we trying to make the world a better place one fish at a time? Just sell the fucking fish. Sell the fucking fish. Jesus Christ.
like, oh, yeah, that's kind of wrong to put a living animal in a bowl where it's gonna die in 2 weeks. But no, she was all set, bro. She was like, yeah, whatever, it's probably gonna die in 2 weeks. We'll just get more. And I said again, okay, well, they are living animals. And she was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, she didn't give a shit. She didn't care. She didn't care at all. Um, so then I was like, okay, which ones do you want? And she's like, those. And she points at the bigger 32-cent ones. She's like, I want 4. And I'm like, man, you're putting 4 this big goldfish in a bowl,
They're feeder fish.
bro.
Dude,
No.
we are talking about a fish that costs 32 cents because it's meant to be fed to another fish or animal. And we're making a big deal about it. The average lifespan of these feeder fish is a day because the average person, when they buy them, feeds them to another fish. And you're complaining that someone wants to keep one as a pet? This is ridiculous. She's got to be trolling. Or she's just dumb as fuck. I had a neighbor who bought feeder fish all the time because he had pet piranhas. He would buy like 5 or 6 goldfish and drop them in the drop them in the tank, and the fish would just. I can't believe she's complaining about feeder fish. Jesus Christ. No, okay. I maybe if it was like a koi fish is a type of goldfish. Maybe like a koi fish. You wouldn't expect someone to put a koi fish in a cup. Okay, because koi fish are kind of big. I get that, but these are fish meant to feed to other fish, and we are really trying to be the Mother Teresa of fish right now for a goddamn feeder fish that costs 32 cents. When a fish costs 32 cents, that means that it really has a very high chance of not lasting more than a week if you try to keep it as a pet. Every time I've bought goldfish, I've had to buy, let's say I want 8 goldfish in my fish tank. I buy 10, 5 will die. And then I'll buy 6 more, and half of those will die. And so now I have 8. I mean, this happens every time. If you're just talking feeder fish, guaranteed.
What is wrong with you? Are you okay in the head? I don't know. I don't think so.
Coming
Apparently
from
not.
you, that's ridiculous.
But that was that story I ended up saying on the radio because just so you know, we talk about y'all. We talk about customers on the radio. We talk about random stuff. It does depend on the manager, but like we like to have fun. We go to work. And it's like, yeah, we're coworkers, but I'm close with these people. I appreciate these people. I'm gonna talk to them about crazy customers. So
And I bet you behind your back, they talk about their crazy coworker. Because I bet you all of them are like, just sell the damn fish. It's a feeder fish. You're the joke. You know that, right?
anyways, I was basically saying that on the radio. And they were like, wow, wow.
And then behind your back, they're like, wow, she's an idiot. Wow. Just sell the fish. Wow. It costs 32 cents. Get over it. Jesus Christ.
So that was the thing. Anyways, let's get into the big story time, which I don't really know. The thing is, this one's gonna be kind of short because I don't really understand what happened. Um, I was like recovering cat food. It was pretty late. We closed at 9, and it was probably like 8:10, and they showed up. I think they called earlier and they were like, "Do y'all have any hamsters or something?" Anyways, they go to my manager because he was the closest to like the hamsters, and they're like, "Hey, I want to get a hamster." And then he calls me on the radio and he's like, "Hey, there's somebody that wants a hamster." So I go over there.
Now that's lame. The manager should have just got the hamster though. That right there is delegating responsibility, because the manager spends. I mean, unless there's something I don't know. I've worked at PetSmart too. The manager does a lot of nothing, and when I mean like walking around, that's not work. There's nothing that needs to be really done, or sitting in the office. So, and then I've been in situations where um, someone would ask the manager to do something, and they're not doing anything, and then they'll ask you to do it. It's like that part is kind of lame, but
And I'm like, "Hey, can I help you guys? Y'all need help with a hamster?" And they're like, "Yeah, we want to get this one." And I'm like, "Okay, do y'all have like a cage or a tank or a bin set up?" I don't know why my voice is doing that. Hold on. So I asked them like what the hamster would be living in. Like I literally said
here we
what I just
go.
said. Like, do you have a bin or a tank or a
Here we
cage?
go.
I asked that to everybody. Just if you don't know, hamsters shouldn't be in a cage. If you don't believe me, look it up. I don't know.
They have hamster. I don't. What's it called? Just like hamster. I call them hamster houses, but they sell like a little hamster. I don't know what it's called, but I called them hamster houses. I don't know, but like it has like a wheel inside and like tubes that they can go through, and then you can get extensions and make the tubes go to like another box, and they can get pretty crazy. But yeah, I think that's common knowledge that everyone knows that they need like the hay, and then the you have to have a hamster. If the hamster doesn't have a wheel, it's gonna go crazy. Like, dude, hamsters can run on that wheel for hours. It's crazy how these hamsters can go. But anyway,
But I do ask that because that's my job. Like if I'm selling an animal, I have
oh
to
my
know where
god,
it's going.
hamster! Jesus Christ.
Um, if I didn't ask like basic
Hamsters don't
questions,
live long
then I
either,
wouldn't
but
be
they
doing my
live longer
job.
than 2 weeks.
That doesn't mean I can deny people. Let's say if they did have a cage or like a small cage, like I'm not really allowed to deny people an animal, but I have to ask those questions. It's literally why I work there. Like if I sell an animal, I need to know where it's going. Um, so I asked that, and he was like, "Yeah, we have that." And I'm like, "Okay, can you like show me what you got?" And
Oh
he's like,
god,
"What do you mean? I don't have it with me right now." And it was
bro, it's a hamster. She's driving me crazy. Jesus Christ. I don't blame this customer. I don't.
it was this guy and his daughter. She was probably like 13. I don't know. She was really nice, by the way. She actually like went out of her way to like apologize to me. She's like, "I'm so sorry." She was really nice, but he was like, "I don't have it with me," and I'm like, okay, I'm aware of that. I didn't say that, but I'm like, bro, I'm looking at you right now. You don't have a cage. You don't have anything. I can see you don't have it with you. You, like, hello? They're finally leaving. Oh my god, that was so awkward. She was like on her phone, like kind of looking at me. It's kind of weird. Um, as I was saying, now I can be more comfortable in my space. Um, he was like, I don't have it, and I'm like, okay, can you like maybe show me from what we have if you have a cage they're gonna
Oh,
be the next style over, or if you have
oh,
like a bin
oh,
or a tank, you could maybe like show me with
oh
your
my
hands
God.
what size it is, like
Oh
hello.
gosh, she is too
And
much.
keep in mind my manager was like right over there because he was doing something.
Oh my God.
um
Oh my God.
but I was like, okay, again, can you like show me or like give me a size? And he was like, we have it all. And I'm like, okay. And the daughter was like, we have a 20-gallon tank, which by the way is too small for a hamster. But I was like, okay. I was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I can tell he's mad at me. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna give him a
Guys, you know what hamsters are like? You know, like little rats. You know what I mean? Like I've s- if you just buy a basic hamster house at like PetSmart, I don't know how many gallons it is. It's the size of two shoe boxes, and it'll have like a little wheel. I'm just talking the basic, and it's big enough. You could fit it on any desk. I mean, it's small enough it could fit on any desk very, very comfortably. Okay. Now you can spend more money and get a bigger one, or get the one I was talking about, where you could put extensions on it, and you could have the hamster go all over the house if you want in a little tube. Um, it's fine. See, like people are acting like what you keep. First of all, it's a rodent. So you could put this hamster in a in an apartment size house and just have it live by itself. It's gonna still live as long as if you keep it in a shoebox. It's a fucking hamster. It's a fucking rat. That's cuter. But you got idiots like this that act like you're buying a child or whatever, adopting a child instead of adopting a hamster. Well, actually, you're just buying a hamster. So she's acting like you're buying a child. Now, if you're buying a child, adopting a child, whatever, I understand the questions. I understand the line of questioning. I get that. I totally get the background check. But it's a goddamn hamster, lady. Just sell the hamster. I bet you she's the only one that works at this store that has all these stories. I bet you everyone else just sells the pets. I bet. I come on, because this is ridiculous. How many more stories does she have like this? Because she's had a lot of stories like this, and she doesn't realize now that the common factor is her. Ugh.
second. I'm gonna go grab the paperwork in a box, and
You need paperwork
I
for a
will return.
hamster? Oh my
And then
god.
as I go like down the aisle, and I'm like pretty much about to turn away. I was probably like 10 feet away from him. He was like, I've never had this happen before. And I was like, oh my god. And then on the radio, because as I said, we talk shit about y'all. Not shit, but
Yeah,
we talk
it's
about like
shit.
what's going on in the store
It's shit.
because I don't know. We're like very understaffed. So if we think we're gonna have a problem, or if there's like something funny, we'll say it because there's only like two other people working in this whole store. So it's like maybe I'll say something funny and it'll brighten somebody's day, or maybe I can tell somebody, hey, there's probably going to be an issue with this person. So I'm like, I just asked somebody on the radio. I'm like, I just asked somebody like what they have for their hamster, and he said he's never been asked that before, and he's kind of upset at me. And as I go and I walk over there, I come back to that aisle, maybe like 40 seconds later, maybe a minute, because I had to like set up the box. Um, I see them talking to the manager that was right there, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like standing at the cages, like waiting for them to come back because I can hear him. He's like, I've never been asked this before. I've never had this issue before. I asked one question. I asked two questions. Like,
You asked annoying
he was very
questions. It's a
confused.
hamster. Just sell the
Anyways,
fucking
he was
hamster.
like yelling at my manager about me.
Good.
Blah blah blah.
Good.
And then they finally come back. I'm like, could you fill this out for me? I'm like, please fill out the paperwork and leave. Um, And then he's like talking to me. He's like, "You should not have asked me that." He was like, "I've had 5 hamsters before. You
Dude,
should have come to me
are
and
we
said, I'm
really doing
sorry
this?
nobody
Are
asked
we
you
really doing this
that
right now?
before, but it's just something I have to do." Like,
Oh
apparently
my
I should have
god.
told him that I'm sorry nobody's asked him that before,
Oh my god. This is a joke.
which I don't understand. Bro,
This
it's.
is a
Is
joke.
there school? There's 2 fucking school buses. What? It's freaking like August 9th. Is there a school? What? What the hell? I don't know.
Will you just get off the video, you stupid bitch? Jesus fucking Christ. So annoying. So annoying. I'm just thinking back to all the times when people ask me about what I had when I was buying a pet. And I would just lie. I would just go, if it's a goldfish or a fancy fish tank, I'd just be like, because I've had tropical too. I'd just be like, yeah, it's a tank. It already has fish in it. I'll just lie. I'm like, yeah, it has like one other fish in there. It's been in there for roughly 6 months. Give or take. I actually have 2 filters. I actually did have 2 filters. I have 2 filters going on too. They're like, really? when you say the 2 filter part, they're like, really? Oh god. So it really just shuts everything down, and then I have and I use water clear. I think it's called water clear. Yeah, I use water clear once a month. Just to make sure that the fish stay healthy. I really sell it, and they're like, oh, really? Oh god, it's so funny because these people, once again, everyone thinks they're an expert, and especially the people who work at the store. But like my goldfish tank actually, uh, like the front is clear, but like the other sides of the tank are just filled with algae because the goldfish eat the algae. So that's why like I would feed them fish food like maybe once every 2 weeks because they would always just be eating the algae. That's my advice for keeping goldfish because like my fish live for a long time, and their main diet was algae, and then maybe once every 2 weeks give them some goldfish food.
Um, but anyways, apparently I should have apologized to him for asking
Oh
because he's
lord.
never been asked that before.
Oh lord.
And he was like telling my manager about that. But then they came to me, they were filling out the paperwork, and then he goes back to my manager with
See,
the
and this is the manager's fault. The manager should have taken over the transaction. She has a manager that doesn't want to work. Okay? Soon as the customer complained about her, the manager should have taken over and finished the sale. But instead the manager has the customer go back to the person who he has a problem with. That sounds like bad management to me. But whatever.
daughter. And I'm like, okay, you filled out the paperwork, but I don't know what hamster you want. So then I try and grab the daughter because she's over there talking with my manager to my manager with her dad. Sorry. My brain's breaking. And I'm like, can you show me which one you wanted? So I like grab her, and it's just me and her, and I'm like, okay, there's 2 in here. I know you said you wanted one of these. Can you just show me which one you wanted? Um, and she's like, yeah, that one. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. It happens all the time. Like, this girl was so embarrassed. I feel so bad for her. Anyways, I got her hamster, and she was like, oh, they have red eyes. And at this point, the guy comes back, and he's like talking. And I'm like, yeah, they have red eyes, but if you want, I can go like look and see if we have any others without red eyes. Cause I know people don't want that. I don't love red eyes. They kind of spook me out. But anyways, I'm like, we can switch it out. And he's like, no, we just want to get out of here. Like, just get the hamster so we can leave. I'm like, okay. So I grab him.
Yeah, because that's how toxic you are. And what is wrong with the manager not taking over that situation? I mean that's the part that bothers me the most actually. Why is the manager letting the customer interact with a problem employee? As soon as that complaint happened, the manager should take over. See, like, but then we're dealing with a manager that's not a good manager. Because remember, a lot of people become managers because they want to do less work. And this sounds like a perfect example. And that's how my manager was at PetSmart too. Uh, she she hated doing work. So it is what it is.
My hamster, I put it in the box. And then I'm like, okay, y'all are ready to go. I got the paperwork. Here you go. I'm gonna put the hamster up on register one, like I always do. Um, and he's like going off again. He's like, I really don't appreciate that. I feel like you like came at me with an attitude.
Oh God.
And I was like, oh,
You
I'm really
probably
sorry
did.
about that. And then he was like, I don't know if you only do this to Latino or black customers. And I was like,
See, how come? And right on him because he's probably trolling now because she's woke. And so she's the type of person who would be calling people racist and sexist and homophobic and all that bullshit. So the fact that it's getting thrown on her, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that to her because she wears that gay pin on her shirt. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. He's probably just throwing it back on her because if he's Latino, uh, obviously he's heavily Catholic, which is they're very anti-gay because that goes against God. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing that to her because she supports the gay agenda. Remember, this is Florida. Most of Florida is red. She just happens to be like a woke libtard that lives in Florida. But like most people in Florida are con- conservative. You have like the party cities are like where all the degens go. Like that's like liberal, but
I asked you what? I asked you what the hamster would be living in. What?
well, because first of all, how many people like think of your childhood? I mean, most people I know had a pet hamster. I had several, not several, but I've I don't know, like four or five, because like they don't live long. Uh, but yeah, I've had pet hamsters. I mean, most people I know have had a pet hamster. So the fact that you're asking, it's like the average American has had a pet cat, a pet dog, a pet gold. Like these are common American animals. Hamsters, very common American pet. So when you're asking someone, do you have the right thing for this pet to live in? It's very insulting actually, because that's like asking an American, you ever had apple pie? I mean, that's kind of like the most American pie ever. That sounds weird, but so dogs, cats, the most American animal ever. Hamsters, the most American pet ever. So the average American knows how to raise a dog, a cat, a hamster, have a pet goldfish, and you're asking him these questions like he's stupid or something. So it is insulting that you're asking him, well, do you have the proper blah blah blah, blah for that? Come on. So I can understand him saying that actually, but at the same time, I can understand him saying it just because, he's trying to give you a hard time.
Um, but then he said that to my manager after he was like ranting at me for probably like 2 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry about that. And like my retail vibes, because you can't be a person with emotions when you work retail. You can't, because you'll get fired so fast. So I'm like, okay. And also, I'm not gonna argue with somebody that called me racist because I asked them what their hamster is living in. Like, I'm a full grown adult. I'm not gonna argue with you. Um, but then he goes back to my manager, and he says the same thing. He's like, I know my manager's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that, but like she did nothing wrong. And he was like, I know you're the manager and you have to be like, I'm sorry, even though it wasn't you, I'm aware it wasn't you. So he's like, it's all me, bro. It's all me because I asked you about this hamster. And my manager's backing me up because like I did my job, bro. Like I didn't do anything wrong. That's my job. And
No,
he
the
told
person who did something wrong was your manager. Your manager is the one who should have taken over the the process of the purchase of the sale. This is 100% the manager's fault. Okay? Her fault for being socially stupid. Okay, so we can admit she is socially stupid, okay? But the manager needs to step in and take over. You have a bad manager.
tells him that. And then the dad, I should have come up with a name for him, but I don't.
Wetback.
Bob. I don't know. I'm not even gonna remember
Racist.
that, but whatever. Um, Bob is like, I don't know if she only does this to like black customers or Latino customers. And I'm like, why are you going on about this, my dude? Like,
Why are you going on about, do you know what kind of house your hamster lives in, my dude? Just sell the fucking hamster, bitch. Fucking retard.
why are you making this a race thing? I don't understand.
Because everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is political.
Listen, I don't, I don't get it. Um,
You don't you don't
I don't
even
get
get
it.
your own gender, so
But we're both, me and my manager, are like, that was so out of nowhere. Like, there's no. How does that make sense? I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
Um,
how does your made up gender make sense? Just some things don't make sense, but we just accept them, I guess.
but yeah, he was going off. He was very upset that I asked him what his hamster would be living in. Um, blah blah blah. Very upset man. So,
He was trolling. No way. No
Um,
way. No way.
and then I'm
He
like,
meant all that.
okay, that's it.
No way
I
he
like
meant all
walk
that.
away, and then I talk to my manager, and my manager's like, yeah, that was insane, bro. He didn't say that. Sorry, I don't know why. Like, so dramatic. Um, but he was like, yeah, that was crazy. I don't understand what was going on in his head because I don't understand. My issue is like, why do you think that I have bad intentions asking like what the hamster is going to be living in?
Because uh, it sounds like you're insulting someone's intelligence. One of the most common childhood pets is a hamster. So, you're kind of implying some things by asking that question. But you're too stupid to understand why a person would be upset. I mean, I would actually, I would feel insulted if I bought a hamster and someone asked me, so what's it living in? Like, I would, like, what do you mean? Like a hamster enclosure? Like, they cost $29.99. Like, it's, like, it's so common. Jesus Christ. She doesn't get it.
I understand like if you didn't have anybody ask you that before, like it's kind of weird. Apparently he had 5 hamsters before, which I don't. Did you have 5 hamsters die? That's a lot of hamsters. That you,
Hamsters don't live a long time. You know that, right? Like, you take care of them. I had a hamster, took care of it. Did nothing weird to it. It lived like 6 months. It had a nice enclosure. Had another hamster, same thing. Like, they just don't live a long time because they're friggin' rats. I know there's that exception where I've had this hamster for 20 years. But, the average hamster you buy from a pet store is not going to live a long time.
you've had die. I'm assuming. Um, but that's a lot. I understand if you're like kind of weirded out if I ask you that, but why do you think that I would have bad intentions?
There's plenty of reasons why. Because it's just a weird question. And then in my mind, I'm like thinking, you get paid whatever, $10 an hour. What are you doing asking me these questions? It makes no sense. What's really going on? Like I'm thinking, like, is this person pulling a prank on me? Is this person bored, trying to make their workday more exciting or something? Like I would go there if I'm being asked about a hamster. Like what? And then a lot of people just don't want to talk. You just a lot of people just don't want to be social, and they just want minimum interaction. And so that's another thing. You're talking in a society where we're just like used to having our heads in our phone and looking at 30-second TikToks of, like, hot chicks dancing horribly to music.
Asking that, like, I'm doing my job, bro.
Yeah, yeah, you're doing it
Like,
horribly.
how is me asking that like a bad thing? I don't understand. And then how does that become like a race thing? I don't know. It's obviously not a race thing. He was just trying to say shit, but like I don't understand people. They will, I swear, retail customers are the worst. They will get mad at everything.
But the people that work retail are the worst too. Because remember, this is animal store. So people that work with animals, the reason why they work with animals is because it's not because they like animals, it's because they hate people. So we're dealing with a person who doesn't like people interacting with people. That's a bad recipe.
It's like you ask them about a fish tank. They're like, why would you ask me that? I've been doing this since longer than you've been alive. It's like, I'm doing my job. I don't understand why you think that I have bad intentions asking. I don't know. I don't know. I've like never really understood like that aspect of it. Like I'm literally doing my job. I'm sorry. I'm doing my job. Um, but that was that story. Honestly, that. Oh, okay. Actually, hold on. It's not over. So remember when me and my manager were like talking about that? Whatever. Our cashier on the radio, she's like, "Hey, that hamster guy, he actually wants to trade in for another one that doesn't have red eyes." And I'm like, "Oh my fucking god!" Like I asked them if they wanted one without red eyes, and he was like, "No, let's get out of here."
Because he didn't want to deal with you. That's how toxic you are. This is how it is. So someone else should get the hamster. If the story continues and the manager still has her get the hamster, you got to fire the manager. I mean, come on.
So, anyways, I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, there aren't any without red eyes. Like I just checked, and we don't even have any that don't have red eyes. Um, but then my manager's like, okay, I'll go deal with that because he doesn't want me. I'm assuming he didn't want me to like deal with that again.
That's how it should have been from the start. God, your manager's stupid. Surprised he did this part though.
Because this man was going off on me. Like he was just talking and talking and talking. Like he wouldn't let me speak at all. Which probably was a good thing
Yeah, because
because I don't
because
know.
because you talking
I
is the
might have
reason
made
why all
him
this
more
stuff
mad
happens.
by speaking. I don't know. Men don't like to let me speak because I speak a lot. I talk too much.
You see a lot of dumb shit.
Anyways, I'm gonna go. That was end of my story. I don't know what hamster they got because I didn't deal with it, but they left with a hamster. I don't know if it was the one I gave them with red eyes or if they got a totally different hamster. I don't know. I don't know. Because we didn't have the type of hamster that they wanted. They wanted a winter white without red eyes, but we didn't have any. So they might have gotten a different type of hamster. I don't know. But I hope he doesn't come back. I don't know. I do have another crazy customer story time, but this video is too long and also I have to go to work because I have a job. Um, this guy wrote a whole freaking review about me and it's like all lies. But I don't know if I want
Sure, sure. I bet you it's all lies.
to speak about that because I don't know. But it was a thing. But also I have many other story times. I need to do like a life update. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I have so much crap to film. Anyways, I'll see y'all next week. Unless I die or something. Bye.
Oh my god. Insufferable. Insufferable. Anyway, yeah, I wonder if you can hear the helicopter. Anyway, um, we've seen enough. We've said enough. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good Monday. Have a good Tuesday. Have a good Wednesday. Have a good Thursday. Have a good Friday. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.